Hello and welcome back to the Skipper's View podcast, episode 176. Here with you today, myself, Brett, and we got Hagen back. What's going on, Hagen? How are you?
I'm doing good. The Mets are first place in the NL East, so I'm pretty happy about that, especially with them not playing their best baseball.
The Mets need to capitalize right now with Phillies on their tail and Atlanta's down in the dumps. Washington's kind of down in the dumps too. They're still yet to hit double digit wins. I guess it's still early. Miami's almost at 500. I'm just looking at that now. Wow, good for them.
A lot better than I expect them to be.
Definitely, dude. Peter Bendix he's a beast at what
He's
he
a
does.
genius.
Well, before we get into it, remember if you like sunflower seeds and watching baseball, like Hagen and I, go check out Chinook Seedery. There, you can find them on social media, find them on their website. Use our discount code, the Skipper's View, to get 10% off sunflower seeds from Chinook Seedery. Let's start with the top news. This is as of this afternoon. I'm not sure. I'm not looking at the live score right now. The Padres, they are 12-1 at home. Not only are they 12-1 at home, they won their series finale, and this was yesterday on Wednesday versus the Cubs. So they're 15-4 overall before tonight. And that's tied for the best 19-game start in ball club history. And the only other team to match that was the 1998 team that won the franchise's last National League pennant. Hagen, thoughts? San Diego, are they for real? For real?
I love San Diego. I mean, they're the team that drives me to the television to watch every single night, especially with a lot of those later games too. But I mean, they're such a good team. I mean, we talked about the pitchers last episode, and we didn't even talk about any of the bullpens arm. I mean, they have the best bullpen in terms of ERA right now. I think 1.54 ERA as a team for their bullpen. I mean, it's a super pen out there. Once you get to the sixth, seventh, eighth inning, ninth inning, these guys are insane out there in this offense. It bangs. We're even seeing it without Jackson Merrill right now in the lineup, and they're still killing it. I mean, Gavin Sheets is looking amazing out there. My only worry for them is just their depth, where let's say a Merrill goes down for extended periods of time, or a Tatis goes down, then I think they'd be screwed. So I think they're a very, like the Rangers are in a sense, a volatile team, but I love San Diego's team, and the way they're looking right now is like one of the best teams in baseball.
Yeah, their bullpen is incredible and like under the radar. Like he got signed last year. He was never the closer. I don't even know if he got a save last year. Yuki Matsui, he was someone from the international talent pool that they went out and signed. They have Jeremiah Estrada, who's a strikeout machine. They're just good. Like they have talent everywhere. And I totally agree. And I'm forgetting about Jason Adam as well, Wandy Peralta.
Robert Suarez, the closer.
Yeah, Suarez. I'm looking. Yeah, of course he is right there, Robert Suarez, and then Adrian Morejon. They're just really good. But I agree with you in the lineup sense. If Machado or Fernando Tatis were to go down long term, it'd be a tough lineup because Jackson Merrill is supposed to be back soon. I think he's like rehabbing right now on his way. He should be back shortly. But like Luis Ariz, he's a contact hitter. Cronenworth's on the IL right now. They got Jose Iglesias. Yeah, and like Xander Bogaerts is not the same player he was, but they're just right now, they are clicking like a baseball team. Hopefully, don't suffer many injuries. They right now are playing obviously just as good as anyone in the league, if not, they are the best team in the baseball. But they are a playoff team based off the fact of their pitching staff. They could throw out Dylan Cease, Michael King, or Nick Pivetta right now, and I'd feel confident in all three of those guys going out on a playoff game. And that's three guys. And that means like you don't need it's nice to have 4, 5, 6, 7 guys like the Dodgers, but you don't need it. Plenty of teams have won with 3 stars, and then they just hurry up starter number 1 for the game 4. That's a lot better than going back to back. What were you gonna say?
I mean, realistically, nowadays you really only need 3 good starters in the playoffs. I mean, you're seeing a lot of teams, especially until you get to the CS, I'd say. I mean, you're only 3-man rotation, and then your fourth guy is kind of getting thrown in that long relief role. They have 3 studs. I mean, Nick Pivetta looks like one of the best pitchers of baseball.
Disgusting. He's disgusting. And yeah, look at the Detroit Tigers. The Padres are a much better Detroit Tigers. That's not verbatim. Obviously, it's not all youth movement in the bats, but in terms of they have 3, a couple good pitchers, and they can rely on their bullpen. They very much can rely on their bullpen for a game or just closing out games. They can go long, though, in the pen. It's crazy. Good for the Padres. We will move on, though, to someone who is also really excited. So the Padres, they have their Jackson Merrill. Now, one of the most exciting guys in baseball that we all thought was, going to have a big year, he's finally starting to pop. And that guy's name is Junior Caminero. Have the Tampa Bay Rays done it again where they have identified talent and now they're going to have a superstar on their hands? With Junior Caminero, he's batting 273, 274 on the season, 4 bombs, 9 ribbies, 813 OBS, and he's just getting started. I think the Rays might have. Do you think he's for real, or do you think he's a chump?
Oh, he's for real. I mean, he's one of those next bright young superstars where if you're saying who's going to be a face of baseball, who are going to be the top 5 guys, top 5 players in 5 years from now, 6 years from now, he's 100% got to be on that list. And he's only 22 years old right now, and he's crushing. Like he's heating up quick. And you said 4 home runs. He just hit his 5th right before he hopped on the pod.
Wow, jeez, he's on a tear right now. He is on an absolute tear. The Tampa Bay Rays, I don't know what it is. Like, how are people not rinse repeating what the Rays do? And they got guys like Jonathan Aranda. He's coming around. He's producing very well. Junior Caminero, Yandy Diaz. Look at Brandon Lowe. I just, it's they are very good at identifying and developing talent. And it's something to stand at, like something that needs to be credited more in the baseball world. It's hard to do this. It's one of the hardest sports to play in the world. I think it's the hardest sport to play in the world at a professional level, outside of maybe golf, but probably baseball. Golf, you have college, and then you go to either the Corn Ferry Tour, like some amateur tournaments. But like baseball, you have the independent leagues, then you have minors like low A, rookie ball, high A, triple A. It's not only you have to physically hold yourself up while going through those ranks, you have to produce each and every level, and you're getting better and better and better. And like you see why a lot of young guys struggle because they're going against 28, 29, 30-year-old, sometimes all the way up to 36-year-old pitchers like Jacob deGrom in their first MLB game. It's like, holy shit, I've never seen anyone throw a baseball like that. And it's like, yeah, well, welcome to the show, kid. It is crazy what the Rays do, and I just wanted to compliment them because it looks like Junior Caminero is going to be that centerpiece for this team. I would love nothing more. I actually, before I misspeak, did Junior Caminero sign any sort of extension preseason that I'm unaware about at this moment?
Not that I'm aware of, no.
All right, I'm gonna look up his contract real quick. I would if he doesn't have he's pre-arb right now. 1 year,
He's got to be someone they're looking at.
764,000, not million. He's not getting Soto money. He's got to get an extension. The Rays need to get this guy and make him the core part of their lineup for the next 10 years. Overpay him.
And they've shown too that they will go out and get there. I mean, sorry, Ethan, if you're listening, but like Wander Franco, they gave him the money. Wander Franco was the same. He looked like he was going to be one of the best players. He looked like he'd be up there with Bobby Witt and Gunnar at this point. We all know what happened, but I think he'd be up there with those type of guys. So they've shown that they'll use these pre-arb extensions and spend 150, $200 million on a guy to get him locked up early and be the face of the franchise.
Yeah, I don't know if they spent $200 million on a guy, or I know what you mean, though. They will lock up. The Rays, they just don't spend the way that other teams do. And I would love to see him do it with this guy because he totally deserves it and looks like he's going to be a freak. So one last thing for the hot news that I wanted to talk about. I did say we would bring this up, and that is the executive votes. For all those people out there listening that do not know, the 40 executives in baseball, and this came out from The Athletic. So 10 front offices, top 10, 40 executives voted. I wanted to take a quick look at this graphic here. So as you can see, Dodgers are the first, other votes, whatever. So Rays are right behind the Dodgers here in terms of votes and where executives look at them. Look at the difference in coverage between these two teams. And that's why I purposely brought up Junior Caminero in this hot news segment. Hagen, is this crazy? There's been 4 teams that essentially got 100 or more votes, meaning 100, or more votes for those 4 teams that executives, everyone agree on. Everyone else was essentially less than 50. I'm not counting the Yankees who had 53 because they're barely above it. Everyone else. So you have four teams here who seem to be doing the right things, and then everyone else is failing. The executives' numbers speak for themselves, how they view these other teams. What are your thoughts on this? And are there any big surprises in terms of the teams that we know who we think has good management? Who do you think here got misrepresented in a good or bad way?
I think I wouldn't say that other teams are doing or failing or in a bad way. I think this more just speaks to how good of a job that the Dodgers, Rays, Brewers, and Guardians do just for what they do. I mean, even Angel Freeman, the Dodgers president of baseball operations, he also came from Tampa. So, I mean, it's the guy that Rays pretty much developed like right there as well. But I think a team that got a little overrepresented, I would say, is the Orioles, just because I don't know how I feel exactly about Mike Elias. Obviously, he's a very good executive, but I don't know if I'd put their front office as a whole as a top 10 front office. And I think being a homer here, but I think the Mets are too low here. I mean, if you look at Milwaukee at 3, that's David Stern's front office that he built when he was there, and he's only in year 2 with the Mets here. So I would expect the Mets to be up higher, and I think the Astros and Tigers too also I would have thought gotten at least a few more votes. But I mean, like you said, there's these top teams are just dominating the vote.
Yeah, I think the Yankees and Phillies can both be bumped down a little bit here. Like, I'm a Yankee fan, you know this, but Yankees, like, it's not a hard sell. Hey, want to come play in pinstripes in New York for a team that's won this thing 27 times and we spend money on players? Like, it's not hard, guys. And the Yankees, they don't develop that many good hitters. I know I'll put my foot in my mouth with Aaron Judge and guys like that, obviously. Like, Aaron Judge is a freak and he's homegrown. But look at the pipeline right now. Like, I know a couple pitchers, and yeah, I'm not the biggest farm system guy, but the Yankees farm system, all I hear about it is Spencer Jones strikes out a lot. He's super athletic. We have George Lombard Jr., who's a teenager. Ben Hess, the first pick out of Alabama, and then Will Warren just came up, and I think Chase Hampton's the other name I keep hearing. There's maybe one other guy that I'm missing, a right-hand reliever. I think they're about to call up. I don't recall his name, but the Yankees haven't been producing talent in, like, besides one-offs. You know what I mean? It's not like every time someone goes down, we have someone ready, like, oh, we're excited about this guy. Like, the Dodgers, the Rays, the Brewers, they always reload. They just reload. Like, hey, our relievers aren't looking that great. Oh, well, we have this little guy named Craig Yoho. He has an 80 grade changeup. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's just like they reload bullets. And the Yankees don't have that. When the Yankees suffer an injury, or it's, oh no, the season's over. And that's literally the mentality. And it's crazy to me. I agree with you. Baltimore's got to be down on this list. I think the Rangers should even be put up on this list a little bit.
I would agree with that as well.
Outside of that, the only team I didn't see on here was the Marlins. That will change because Peter
Yeah.
Bendix is now running the show.
So yeah,
I
the
bet you the
Marlins are
Marlins
going to be a team that are going to creep on this list very fast.
they're going to jump to halfway point next
Yeah.
year. It's going to be like, who's that guy? And it's like, oh shit, Peter Bendix identified him or someone on his staff. But yeah, we could hop off this, but it's just interesting to see how executives view these teams. I thought it was very lopsided, the vote, and it looked like a lot of the teams like are based off what executives think. Think they are running them the right way. We'll move on though. We'll jump to the American League. So, excuse me. Speaking of Tampa Bay, so we'll start with them in the American League East. So this is the second time in franchise history each player in the lineup had a run and an RBI scored. Kind of wild stat that everyone scored a run and everyone hit an RBI. This happened in the, I don't even know how to describe this name, the bludgeoning of the Red Sox this week. The Rays won 16-1 over Boston. Tanner Houck got shellacked again. And if you look at Tanner Houck, 3 of his last 4 starts in 2025 have been very bad. If you look back to last year, Tanner Houck has proven he has not been an effective pitcher in like 10 or more plus starts. Brain Bello, I'm not impressed. Obviously, we're going to talk about Boston's rotation here a little bit as we transition from Tampa Bay. I just wanted to point out that stat. But in the East this week, really, the Yankees swept the Royals. I don't really care about Baltimore and Toronto right now. I want to talk about Boston's pitching. So a lot of people picked them to win the American League East. Correct me if I'm wrong, right, Hagen?
including me.
And including you. Now, their lineup, we all know, can be disgusting, especially when Ramon Anthony gets up there. They're going to be gross. Is the pitching good enough to win a playoff series? Chapman's shaky. I don't really trust any other relievers in their pen. And then let's run through it. Garrett Crochet, 309 career ERA. Tanner Houck, career 379 ERA. Walker Buehler, 332. Sean Newcomb, 452. Bello, 442. Giolito, 443. Crawford, 456. Richard Fitz, 239. But he's thrown in only 37 innings. That's a lot of they give up a lot of runs starting pitching. What do you think? Do you think they could win a series with this starting pitching? And I'm not talking about a 3-game series. Boston fans don't care about winning a wild card series. They care about, a divisional series. They want to win a championship series.
I think they can, honestly, because I mean we saw Walker Buehler last year in the postseason, what he can do when he's feeling right, and I think he will get to that point. I mean, he's someone that he loves the dramatic and he loves those situations where it's season on the line, stuff like that. He pitches better. So I think I'd love Walker Buehler in the playoffs. Crochet, I mean, we all know Garrett Crochet. He was one of the most popular Cy Young picks in all of baseball here. And I think with a lot of these guys, with like a Giolito, a Crawford, a Bayo, a Houck, like these guys who are struggling. I think I look at it more on the optimistic side, right? Andrew Bailey's one of the best pitching coaches in baseball, and I trust him and the Red Sox pitching development to help get those guys right. Because, I mean, last year Tanner Houck was phenomenal in the first half. I mean, like you said, he faltered off in the second half, but it's in there that he can get back to that spot. And I trust the Red Sox too to at the deadline add pitching, whether it's I would assume bullpen, it may be a starter as well. I mean, even last year when they were kind of just hanging around at the deadline, they still added. It wasn't big moves by any means, but they still went out there and they got guys and added to the team. So I trust, and that was Craig Breslow's first deadline as well. And this team's way better than it was last year. So I trust Craig Breslow to add pitching at the deadline to help improve that staff.
Yeah, I'm even not opposed to them moving like one of their young guys, whether it's I know like I'm gonna whatever I say right now, I'm gonna hear something from Dean like you're an idiot. Obviously, you don't move Ramon Anthony. One, you don't know what you have there. Two, he could be the best out of all their guys, right? He's the number one prospect in baseball. Do you move a Wilyer Abreu or a Sedane Rafaela, who just signed long term with the Red Sox, right? Didn't he get like a 6 or 7 year extension, Rafaela, this
I think it
offseason?
was like 6 years, 55 million. If that sounds maybe less.
Yeah, and I don't know. He's cheaper to keep, but like over Jaron Duran, right? But like you got to move one of these guys, and like you're not going to move Devers, you're not going to move Bregman. I don't think that Story is movable, not for what you're looking for pitching wise. Like I think Story's expensive, and I don't know if a lot of teams are going to take him. You got Christian Campbell, who like, why would you ever move him right now? He's young and controllable, and he signed his extension. They're going to have to move one of the outfielders. I don't know who it's going to be. It's one of them, whether it's Abreu, Rafaela,
Yoshida's on that list too.
Cheetah would be obviously ideal to move Yoshida
Yeah.
for like a 3-4 starter. I'm curious how it's going to play out. Walker Buehler's dog. I love Walker Buehler, so I'm rooting for him outside of like playing the Yankees. But it was a sketchy rotation when I was looking at it. I was like, there's a lot of ERAs in this, like a lot.
Do you think, and this is just an idea too because it was floated around last year, and I know no one's really talked about it at all since the season started, but do you think they could trade Casas and open up first base, and then you can move Devers there and opens up the DH and
So Casas is I feel due to Tyler and Sam going at this with they're big Red Sox fans. I think that the consensus is Boston fans like Casas more than any other organization, and they're also at the same time Boston fans are the most frustrated with Casas than any other organization because there's been so much hope and promise and everything around Tristan Casas. I think that he is a decent ball player, and he could be really good. He could be very good. The thing is, he hasn't done it yet. Like, not consistently for a full season. If he gets hot, he might be the bat to move because it's like buy low, sell high. And if you get Casas and include him with a prospect or two, you have a good farm system. Send him to like Miami. Maybe Peter Bendix won't fall for it for Sandy Alcantara, but like that could be a package. If you move Casas, you move Story. You know what I'm saying? Actually, no, they're not going to take on money, Miami, for Trevor Story. But you know what I mean? Like, move a couple, like Yoshida, Casas, and maybe a couple prospects. And it helps Miami in the time being be competitive with the bats because we know the lineup's lacking. And Miami already has some good pitchers outside of Sandy Alcantara. They have Yuri Perez. They have Max Meyer, who's been awesome.
Ryan Weathers.
And Ryan Weathers, yeah. And I think there's one more guy I'm forgetting off the top of my head, but like Miami's proved they could produce pitching. That's not a worry for them. It's hitting. So it's like take Yoshida and his money for a year or two, whatever it is. I don't think he has a long-term deal. But yeah, I like the idea of moving Casas. I do. I'm not sold on him. I'm not attached to him. You got Devers, you got Bregman, like you got the hot corners locked down, however you want to. We'll move to the Central. Just looked. There's one team in the Central in T minus like 20 minutes when the Guardians lose to the Baltimore Orioles. They're down 6-2 in the ninth right now. The Central stinks. There's one team with above a 500 record. Guardians will be 500 and everyone else has a losing record. The only thing I'll call out, Tarek Skubal, as always, doing his thing. So he had an awesome start this week against the Brew Crew. 7 innings, 4 hits, 0 runs, 0 walks, 9 strikeouts. Love to see Tarek Skubal doing Tarek Skubal things. We'll jump to the West. The big thing I had was Hunter Brown. Hunter Brown this season. Have you watched a Hunter Brown start yet, Hagen?
I've caught some glimpses, but he's one of those guys that I try to tune in as much as I can.
Yeah, and well, he's going to be must watch going forward because he's gotten 24 innings this season, already accrued 1.1 WAR, 1.50 ERA, 22 Ks, 0.833 WHIP. He's been disgusting. Would love to see that for Houston. I don't love Houston, but I'm starting to like their pitching. They're doing cool things with Arrighetti, Hunter Brown, Framber, Ronel Blanco. They're going to get McCullers back here by the end of April, they're saying. And that's a name we haven't used in the baseball world in a while. So I'd love to see it. I already picked him up in one league. I'll probably pick him up in a bunch.
Yeah.
I'm a sucker for Houston pitching. We'll jump to the National League. So I'll give you a second. Let's talk about your Mets.
The Mets? What do you want to hear about them?
Juan Soto's been hot this week.
Not for the right ways. He hasn't looked. I mean, he's right before we put record. I was watching the game, and Mets fans are already booing him, which is pathetic in my opinion. To be booing 18 games into the year one of 15 on a contract, but
that's so New York.
I don't understand it, man. It's beyond me. But the Mets, their pitching is still, like we talked about the last few episodes, their pitching's still carrying them. Their offense is struggling to get going still. I think they're bottom 10 offense in baseball right now, if I'm not mistaken. But their pitching still top 2, top 3 in baseball. So they're getting carried that way. And I think the way I look at it too is they're the 4th best record in baseball. And they were bottom 10 offense in baseball, but everyone expected them to be one of the best offenses. So I look at it more on the positive side of, hey, you're winning games. That's all that matters. The offense, let it get hot when it comes October. Like, if you're winning games, I don't care if the offense is slow right now because they're going to figure out eventually. Just win the games.
Yeah, it's crazy when fans don't realize that guys make the Hall of Fame in this sport for hitting the ball 30% of the time. Yeah, long season ahead. Rightly, well said, Hagen. I think that that is very New York to boo Juan Soto. It's like, do you want to make an enemy of this guy? He just, he could, he just signed with you guys for 15 years or whatever it is for $750 million. Like, how are you booing him?
Booing him at like the 6th home game of the year.
I shouldn't talk because Yankee fans have done just so much worse over the years, like in general, but that's kind of crazy. I'll talk about Spencer Strider. He made his debut this week. So Spencer Strider, for those who don't know, he had internal brace procedure, correct? Not Tommy John?
Internal brace, correct.
Yeah, and he pitched, I guess it was last night against the Blue Jays. They lost, but Strider in his debut, 5 innings, 5 Ks, 2 earned runs, only 1 walk. It wasn't the most Strider like start, but Spencer Strider's back, and I think that that's a really good sign for Braves, especially Sean Murphy coming back and mashing right away. I think the Braves are going to start to get their pieces here, and they're going to start to be more of a ball club. It helps a lot when on this 3 days on the bump, you're going to see Chris Sale, Spencer Schwellenbach, Spencer Strider. Get out of here. That's 3 losses for most teams. Like, that's insane. Love to see that for Spencer Strider. Last news in the NL East. Did you watch? I'm sure you didn't watch the game just because it was Washington versus Pittsburgh. But did you see this breakout fight about the McCutcheon getting tossed at?
Yeah, with Mets legend Jorge Lopez on the mound.
Yeah. So Jorge Lopez, it looks like I think he got a 3-game suspension already. They think it was intentional of him throwing at him. I don't think he nicked McCutcheon. He got out of the way, correct?
Yeah, he didn't get him at
Yeah.
all.
Yeah, and the bench is cleared. No one really fought, but he's appealing it. We'll see what happens. I feel like the Pirates are always getting in fights. Like, the Pirates are definitely the rattiest team when it comes to fight. They'll fight anyone. The Pirates will fight anyone.
They can fight, but they can't hit. I'll tell you that.
The NL Central will jump to. Really, the big news this week outside of like Milwaukee called up Caleb Durbin yesterday. I forgot to put that here in the agenda, but that did happen. Matt Shaw, very promising prospect. It's crazy to see. He got sent down by Chicago. Obviously, he wasn't performing, but this Chicago offense has been lights out. So, do you agree with this? Do you think it's like, I know he's not performing, but it's like if the team's winning games and the offense is hot and you really don't like rely on him right now this early in the season, like, why not let him get MLB reps because he's mashed at every stop he's made in his career? What do you
I
think?
see both sides of it, where, like you said, you match it every level so far. Why don't you just let him get more time and see if he can figure it out? But I think this was a good demotion, as much as it sucks to see a guy go down, because, I mean, this is probably the first time that Matt Shaw's really ever struggled in his career, in his life as a baseball player. So, and he's at the major league level. So it's now he's got that taste of the big leagues, and now you go back down to the minor leagues. I mean, it could be a week or two for all we know. And just, hey, you know what you're going to face up there now. You know how you guys are going to execute. Just figure it out. Make whatever small adjustments you need to make, and be ready when you go back up there.
Yeah, and last thing I'm showing here, we'll just run through the standings real quick. The NL West I didn't have much on, and everything I had was the Padres because they're so freaking good right now. So the East, you got the Yankees and Toronto up in front, but this is going to be a dogfight all year. You can see, sorry, I'm like having the hiccups and burps right now at the same time. The, they're separated by 3.5 games, the entire division. Baltimore isn't even winning games. And every one of these teams in this division is going to be north of 500, I think, at the end of the year. AL Central, like I said, they stink. Cleveland has not been updated yet. They're going to be 9-9 soon. And, as always, the Central is going to be underwhelming in terms of performance. The Twins don't even, how'd this get deleted? I think it was in here. Matt Wallner got injured. I don't know if he is going to hit the IL or not. Did you see if he hit the IL officially?
I did not know if, but it was the same game he went down as well as Carlos Correa went down.
Yeah, and Correa is now day to day as well. Is he? I don't know if he's going to be on the IL. We'll update that on Sunday when we come back. Rangers taking games early. That's very important, especially while Jacob deGrom is available. Los Angeles Angels. It's kind of sick. They're winning games. Dude. Imagine you're the Angels right now and you're winning games and you woke up and you still have to pay Anthony Rendon this season.
I feel
They're
bad for any
terrible.
Angels fan out there but this Angels team is exciting right now. I mean, when was the last time the Angels were exciting to watch and made you like, oh, I actually want to watch this Angels offense.
Yeah, I know. Exactly. Like, it was probably Ohtani, Trout, which, Ohtani hasn't been on the Angels in 2 years now. And Trout, I think, maybe was injured that last year. Wasn't he injured when they were trading for people to, like, help Ohtani? Or was Trout not injured?
I
I don't
think he
even
was
know.
healthy and then he got hurt like after they traded for people.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that is actually how that happened. Unfortunate. Seattle bats getting a little hot yesterday. Saw Cal Raleigh, Randy Rosarena go back to back. So if Julio's batting like 270 right now, and Julio doesn't usually do that this early in the season. If he maintains and Rosarena and their pieces work and they make a move finally or call some prospects up because they have a lot of good prospects. Seattle could be interesting. Their pitching's obviously awesome. Athletics, they're 500. They're going to be interesting to watch all year just because they have so many like interesting pieces, but they're just not deep. Houston, they're chugging along with with the new chapter without Kyle Tucker. We'll see how that pans out. The NL East, Mets up top with the Phillies. We already covered the East pretty much, so we'll just jump right to the Central. Cubbies, like I mentioned, they're hot. 12-9. Milwaukee somehow is 10-9 with all the negativity about their team right now. Somehow 10-9. Any care to comment on Craig Counsell and this Milwaukee Brewer team?
You mean Pat Murphy?
So, oh my God, yes. Oh my goodness. Thank you for calling me out. I'm like thinking Pat Murphy and this Brew Crew team.
I mean, this Brewers team's it's almost like the same every year. They're just so scrappy. Like, even like Yelich hasn't been playing great from my understanding. Chorio's not playing to the capability that we know he is. Granted, yes, he's still 22 years old, but I mean, it seems like they have every day you check on who's starting for him, and it's who the hell is this guy? And then they're just winning ball games now. I mean, 6-4 in their last 10, they're looking good. And, I mean, they're right on the Cubs' heels, and the Cubs, their bullpen's pretty shaky.
Churrio's a top 70 player in fantasy still, and he's like, you're absolutely right. Like he's doing good, but he's batting 260. We think Churrio could be like a 290, 300 hitter. He's 803 OPS. I think he could be a 50 to 950 OPS guy. Home runs, he's fine. He's got 5. But yeah, he has room to improve, and same with Yelich, and there's still a game above 500, which is like insane to think that the AL Central is that bad that they have one team above 500. And like the Brewers are like, teething for anything right now. Pittsburgh stinks besides Paul Skeens. Not actually. They have some pieces. I just, you know what I mean? They can't hit.
Their offense stinks.
The Reds and the Cardinals are just not interesting. Mason Wimby on the IL is a real bummer. And then we'll jump to the West. Like, this is insane. They have 4 teams with 12 or more wins already.
They have the 3 best teams in baseball so far.
And then the Diamondbacks are right there behind San Fran. If we organize this by MLB, they have 1, 2, 3, 4 of the top 4 teams are in the the NL West. Absurd. And you know what I love about this?
The Dodgers are number 1.
It's not only the Dodgers are number 1. The Dodgers are forcing these teams to be competitive. Because by them signing team, like Arizona went out and got Corbin Burns. San Diego went out and signed. They signed Pivetta. They signed Matsui last year. They got. They signed Merrill to an extension. They also called up their top prospect and got him in the mix right away. The Giants, they went out and signed Willy Adames. They went out last year extending Matt Chapman. Like these teams are trying to be competitive ball clubs because they know they have to play the Los Angeles Dodgers. I love this. To all MLB executives, take a note, please and thank you. Let's jump forward. We're out of the divisions now. Let's talk about 2 last things. We got injuries coming up, but we'll show. Actually, let's run through the injuries real quick, and then we'll jump into our fantasy league standings. So Clayton Kershaw, he made a rehab start yesterday. He's probably going to be bouncing around rehabbing for about a month, and then he'll be back. I think he's eligible May 17th, which is awesome. Chris Bryant, he lands on the IL. Lumbar degenerative disc disease. Reportedly could miss significant time. Is this the end for Chris Bryant?
That's what I've been wondering. I mean, I saw a report before the season started saying that if he was going to get another major injury or just not produce, the Rockies, who they're a small market team, were just thinking about just eating the rest of his money and just cutting him. So I think it's definitely a possibility. And you know, it sucks because you see these small market teams give out $180 million, whatever it was, and it just sucks because, yeah, he hasn't produced, but he also hasn't been healthy and stay on the field and be able to get consistent playing time to get his feet underneath him.
Yeah, and I really like Chris Bryant. It's really a bummer how many injuries he's had to kind of deal with. This not kind of deal with. He's been dealing with them in his time as a professional baseball player. Colorado also had Tyler Freeman. He was put on the placed on the 10-day IL. Strained left oblique. Infield Adele Amador was called up from AAA to adjust for that. Cincinnati, who we mentioned needs to start winning some games, they activated 3 players. Alexis Diaz, a relief pitcher, Matt McClain, who they desperately need, and Austin Hayes, an outfielder, where Hayes is productive. I think it'll help them. We talked about Matt Wallner earlier. His injury, he pulled up running a grounder at first base. He's diagnosed with tightness in the left hamstring. We'll see what the final diagnosis is about that, if he's going to have any IL time. Jose Siri was now placed in the IL with a fractured left tibia, fouled a ball off his leg. That sounds gruesome. Paul DeYoung, another gruesome injury. He hit the IL after being hit in the face by Mitch Keller. I watched it. It was, oh, dude, hit him right in the
I didn't see it at all.
cheekbone. Oh my God, it's gross. Don't go watch it. I'm not bringing it up here to watch either. Pittsburgh, this one stings because they just called up Henry Davis because Joey Bart went down. Now another catcher-eligible player who's catcher first base, Andy Rodriguez, he's placed on the 10-day IL with the laceration on his right index finger. Pittsburgh's had they haven't had any luck in the injury department, I feel, with between Jared Jones, Joey Bart, who's been producing for them, and now Andy Rodriguez. It really sucks to see for Pittsburgh. Last thing, I saw this week, Aaron Judge named captain for the 2026 World Baseball Classic. Do you think anyone else deserves to be the Team USA captain of this? Or do you think Trout should have been the captain? Or because he said he's happy to play with Judge, like alongside him.
I mean, I think Trout already got his, because there's so many guys that I think deserve to get at least a shot. So I think it's, hey, you get it your one time. And Trout did an amazing job last time. I think Judge was the right pick for this. I mean, I can see the argument for Bryce Harper. I think Aaron Judge, I mean, he's the leader. He's the captain of the New York Yankees. And he's one of the best players. I mean, he's probably the best hitter in baseball right now. One of the best hitters since Barry Bonds. I think it was the right person to be named captain for Team USA.
I agree. I think Judge gets I think he gets it, and I think he's a good leader. Yeah. I'm excited to see him play. So finally, we have 2 leagues that go on in the Skipper's View League. We have our head-to-head points league, which there's 12 of us in. As you can see, the rightful king, the champ himself, is at the first place position. Where are you at in this, Hagen? What's your team name?
All the way down.
You're all the way at the bottom. I didn't see you down there. I'm sorry. Oh, God. Well, our fearless leader, Dean, he's in 4th place, and I'm destroying him currently. Damn. Sam's somehow managing a baseball team to be a contender while he's pitching in college right now. Love to see it. Lewis, top 5. Nick's picks up there. We got it's a good group of guys in that one. So let's talk about the war draft. I think we have the standings pulled up. You put them in here. So I did not see that. That was not disingenuous. I'm winning right now? Or did you?
Yeah, by a decent margin too.
Okay. So we did a war draft. My team through 20 games has cumulatively accrued 5.5 war. Second place is Lewis, then Nick with 4.7, Dean with 4.6, Hagen with, doing better in this league, 3.7. Then Mikey, Will, Toby, Ethan, Grant, Sam, James, Jeb, Sam, Horvath, and then Ben Weaver with just a measly 1.1. We will tweet these out, our standings. I know me listing them is gibberish to you guys, but wanted to give our boys credit. Outside of that, I'm all tapped out on baseball until Sunday when we get back. Anything else you want to talk about?
I do just want to talk real quick about Luis Arias' home run he hit the other day against the Cubs. He hit a home run on Monday, I believe. So it was a home run in 23 out of 30 ballparks, 356 feet. He hit it straight up into the air at a 37-degree launch angle. But this home run had an expected batting average of 90. That's the lowest expected batting average I've ever seen on a home run. I mean, most home runs have like an expected batting average of 700, 800. It had batting average at 90. It's
So, what
unreal.
park was this at?
It was at Petco, right down the right field line.
So it's just like the highest ball ever that he
It
hit.
was just straight up into the air and just landed like right in the front.
Oh, wow. I see. So you added this tidbit about Luis Rat. Okay, there we go. And then I actually have an eye-popping stat before we get out of here. Last thing, I swear. So this was super interesting. This week we had a day where 5 former number 1 overall picks all hit bombs on the same day. So one, that's incredible because like you gotta think the max amount you're gonna have in number 1 overall picks is probably like 20-year gap, right? In terms of like guys available. So there's maximum 20 guys that are gonna be available to hit those home runs. They had 5 guys not only be drafted number 1 overall, make it through the farms and all that, make it up to the show, and then eventually all hit home runs on the same day. This has only been done 6 times since the MLB draft began in 1965. It's 5 or more guys. So the people who did it this week: Bryce Harper, Jackson Holliday, Spencer Torkelson, Mickey Moniak, and Henry Davis. They all hit home runs on Wednesday. And the oldest of that, Bryce Harper, was drafted in 2010, and Henry Davis was drafted, and Jackson Holliday was drafted in 2022. 12-year gap of guys being drafted number 1 overall. They all made it up. They all hit bombs. The last time this was done was by Pat Burrell, Ken Griffey Jr., Josh Hamilton, Joe Mauer, and Alex Rodriguez, who did this on August 7th back all the way in 2009. You can see this is somewhat rare, but it's cool. It's really cool to see number 1 picks like hitting in baseball because like this ain't football or the NBA, where the NBA, like I feel, and number 1 picks hit all the time. And don't at me on that. I will fight anyone on that argument about the NBA number 1 picks, by the way. But that's it for me this week. I think, Hagen, you're done. You got anything else?
Yeah, I was just gonna say that those. I mean, you even lower that for whatever the 20-year gap that you were saying from Harper of 2010 that he was selected as first pick. 5 of those guys since he's been drafted as well are number 1 picks were pitchers too. So it just lowers that gap and makes it even more impressive that this all happened on one day.
I love that you pulled that up. Did you know that off your heart? Or
I have the Wikipedia up right now.
there we go. Well, hey, Skip Review. We're out. Bye.